yeah, I've just got too many projects going on. It's not any one client. It's so none of these people know. Like they don't know I tell them sometimes, but they forget. Like I work for like a lot of people, and they'll like try to schedule like calls. So each one of them thinks they're only getting like one meeting from me every couple of days, but like my calendar is just like one meeting after another. And some of that's my fault too. Like, I try to tell them I'm busy. Then I'm thinking like, well, wait a second. Do I need to maybe be careful about who I tell to piss off? Because maybe AI comes for all my jobs in a couple of months and I'm going to like beg, which again, that's a problem that all freelancers have. We're all kind of like, I don't want to make anybody mad. I don't want to be overworked. It's like we're caught in that loop of, I want to get rid of a couple clients right now. So if you're watching this and you're one of my clients, fuck you. Yeah, but I do want to get rid of a couple of them. But then I'm like, what if in 3 months, like all the work dries up, which I know is kind of dramatic, but we've seen it happen. Like we've seen people lose stuff and like work's getting slow, and I don't know. So what happens is I keep overbooking, and then I'll have like 5 calls in one day. And there's just one call from each person. So they're like, oh, no big deal. I'm only taking 15 minutes of his time. But, that adds up. That's half my day sitting on a call, not getting anything done. So that's kind of where I'm. What have you been up to this week? You've been busy too, or what?
Yeah, lots of calls. I was recovering from the stag do on the weekend, which now it was like one night out till like 4 or 5 in the morning. And like it kills me for like 2 days afterwards. And even Tuesday, I was a little bit slower. But I was in London for those 2 days. Those 2 days I was staying in London and had some like late sessions with one of my clients, which was good. It was my old agency, so I know the founder really well. So it was positive, but it was like late nights. And then so yeah, like the last couple of days I'm getting back to it slowly. Ready for the weekend though, and it's crescendo. You get those weeks that are like they kind of taper off, and they're like, yeah, it's Friday, like cool, I could probably get finished by like 2, 3. Like this is one of those, no, cool, I'll probably finish around 6, which on a Friday.
Yeah, I started off with a light day today. I'm like, oh, because I'm with my grandparents now. Obviously, they're not young because I'm not. So I'm like, oh, we'll do something tonight, and I'm like, maybe I'll end up working till 6 or 7. And the day I woke up and everything was fine. Then of course all the clients are like, oh shit, we got to get all this done by the weekend. I'm like, well, did you know about this a few days ago, or is this something you're telling me today? So I'm having the same problem where we'll end up like work until 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. But yeah, it reminds me, like when you're talking about hangovers, what Ann said about if anybody hasn't seen Ann Clausen's episode, it'll be out before this one. But those hangovers now, man, I used to be able to, I can't tell if it's one of two things, right? So it's either I was drinking so much that I would get up the next morning and just keep drinking anyway, and I could never got a hangover because it never caught up. Because that happens. Like, when I remember like in my early 20s, I'm like, I'd get up to go to work, or like I'd drink like heavily at happy hour, and that would turn into late, whatever, vodka and everything else. And I'm like, all right, now I hope I sober up by morning, because I had a gun back then. I had to go to work with a gun. So. And then now I'm like, sometimes I drink a lot and I'm like, oh God, I hope I'm not sober in the morning because it's going to hurt. So you get up, crack open another one. So I don't know, but the hangovers, my God, like even if I don't drink for like a week and I have like not like 5 beers, which sounds like a lot to some people, but I was drinking like 20 before in one night. And I'll wake up, I'm like, fuck, I can't do anything for like the whole next day. I feel like somebody's like squeezing my heart, like the anxiety you get when your liver is like overworking and everything. And then even the day after that, you just can't think. Like you try to come up with things and it just doesn't happen. And we have the types of jobs where you kind of have to think sometimes. So chat can't do everything for me. So I don't know. But yeah, that shit hurts, man. Oh.
Yeah, it's rough. I honestly, like, I'm just trying to get away from it for a while. Like, I don't think I'd ever go sober, but like, has to be like, I think a special occasion now, because it just throws me off too much. And I'm like, I've done so much of it that it's like, cool, there's other things to now do with that time. So, yeah,
I've felt that too. I'm in that zone now where it's like, it has to be like something to do, like an occasion or whatever. And even when I do it, and sometimes I do it too, like if it's been a couple of weeks, I'm like, God, I don't remember what that felt like. and then I'll do it and get a hangover. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So like, but I'm trying to space it out. You're kind of in like in a unique position. Well, I guess I am now this last couple of weeks where like we're traveling around to all these places and you're back home and everything. So it's tough because you run into people you used to know or like, whatever. And of course you want to go see them and have a good time and they're expecting it too. So it's like, it just kind of piles on. And we were talking about before about getting to a new place, like wherever we go after this, if nobody knows us, like they don't know that I was a fucking raging party animal for 20 years. They could think I'm just some idiot who's never had a drop. So I don't have to explain myself to anybody else. So it's tough, man. Oh God, tired just thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel you. On the like friends situation, I literally realized last week, so we've been meaning to meet up because I haven't seen them since Christmas. But I was like, if we go to the pub in Oxford City Centre, I know what will happen, and I don't want to do that. So I was like, guys, do you actually I'd rather go for like a hike. I mean, a hike in Oxfordshire, it's like a long walk, I guess. And like stop at a pub halfway, have some lunch, have a beer, than be like in the city centre at 4:00 in the afternoon, where it's obviously going to like, turn into chaos. And like everyone was up for it, and it's like it was actually that easy just to think, no, actually I can control the outcome by just making the bloody suggestion, like, hey, should we not just go and get blasted, and do something like that? And actually, I think that is something I'm more interested in doing now on the drinking side. I say like special occasions, but also like instead of it being like, okay, cool, let's go to a bar, it's like, no, let's go for food somewhere and have a glass of wine or something, or a beer, like whatever. But like one or two with a meal, for example, as if I was like 15 again.
Or like some type of activity, like some destination. Like obviously we know walking is good for you. Walking doesn't burn a lot of calories, but yeah, like going for like a long walk, and even if you hit like a few pubs, at least you feel like you're kind of doing something. Because I used to do those days where you just go to the bar stool. And then I would just sit until I blacked out. Like that was the plan, Yeah. And $300 later, and look, I'm not complaining. I had fun, or at least I thought it was the entire time. But yeah, it's nice to combine it with something. Getting a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah. So the real reason we're all here, not necessarily just to talk about partying or lack of partying, although it's good advice, maybe heed it. The reason we're here is we are going to be releasing a couple of episodes over the next 4 to 6 weeks-ish, all about how to get clients, how to keep those clients, how do you make them happy, and then ultimately, how do you upsell those clients, which is essentially going to help you grow your solo business. So stay tuned. We'll have the website in the description. If you want to go to the website, sign up to our newsletter, you will know when we drop those episodes. Yeah, anything else we want to mention about that?
Couldn't have said it better myself. And we've both been in those stages now where we've started off. We started with nothing. I didn't have clients for the first 6 to 9 months, I think it was, and then I've had to fight to keep a few. We're going to cover from end to end.
Absolutely. And in fact, if you've got a burning question that sits under one of those 3 areas, so how to get the clients, how to keep them happy, and how to upsell them, let us know, and we've already started planning the episodes, but if you want to let us know, we can try and squeeze that in. Well, we will squeeze it in and make sure your questions are answered.